Okay, we're in the dyno hydraulic pump here, and you're getting a live view of the carnage as I'm finding it. Well, sort of as I'm finding it. I've already done a little bit of investigation and ordered the parts. There's the new bearings. Still got to get the new races. I had to change styles on them. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is one of the two bearings that came out of this big hydraulic pump that, by the way, if you don't know exactly what's going on here, go check out the other video that talks about, probably like there, that talks about what the heck this hydraulic pump is and how this dyno works. But you can see both of these bearings have lived a hard life, and they've made that gear live a hard life. I suspect there was some water involved, but it's neither here nor there now. This bearing has failed. This race is cracked. Dug all the rollers out of there and found that. You can see there's what the good surface looks like. And there's the pitted, galled. Yeah, there's a lot of adhesive wear there. But let's look at what the other one looks like. I haven't gotten a good view at this one yet. Oh, this is kind of hard to do one-handed. I'm going to mess up that pump surface too. I don't want to do that. Turn that around. Okay. You can see this plate has seen a hard life. It's got some pretty bad wear there. This other wear plate is just as bad. There's a pretty big step. You can see it there. It's pretty bad, but wow. I don't think I've ever seen that. This whole, it's kind of hard to get on camera. All these rollers are twisted in this, you can kind of see it at that angle. All these rollers are twisted in that bearing. And many of them are flattened. You can see that one's flat. Yeah. It's a good, ooh, that race is broken. That's a big old crack. Yeah, it's a good thing I was able to find at least some kind of parts that'll work. Here's what came out. We've got 4, 6, 8 kind of round rollers, 3 really flat rollers, 1 really flat roller welded to the cage, and some pieces of bearing race from back in there somewhere. Yeah, ooh, from there. Oh, it's from there. Is that another roller? Okay, that's what's down in there. It's not too bad. There's the little wear disc. I think these are some kind of nice steel on the back that's got a real thick layer of copper or probably brass. Like, I don't know if that's plated onto it or just somehow sandwiched, but that goes back in there. And what I got for replacement bearings, because I couldn't find anything really about, just like, I couldn't find any cross-reference numbers. I found one of these used on eBay, and I need 2, obviously. But what I found was, I couldn't find them. I couldn't find cross-reference info. I couldn't really find anything. The only thing, ironically, I could find was something about a court case, something about when RBC delivered these bearings to Hydroco, something validation, something reliability, which is super ironic. But anyway, the original bearing here, you can kind of see it on the top one. Its needles rode right on the shaft, and they've kind of done a number on this one. Luckily, what I got here, because that wasn't really going to work out for me anyway. I'm just going to wipe my hand again so I don't get any crap in this bearing. What I got here is, this is a 2 9/16 outside diameter. And then this guy is actually a 2-inch ID, where that shaft is only 1 inch and 3/8, if I remember right, I think. 3/8 or 5/16. And no, it was 1 inch and 5/16. Yeah, I needed that for the inside. Well, I can turn that shaft down anyway, make it any size I need to. But so what I got here is I've got an inner race in the mail still. It hasn't shown up yet. That's going to go onto that shaft, and into this bearing. And then this bearing should be, ooh, it's going to be a tight press, but, or do I just have the angle wrong? I think I just had the angle wrong. Oh, now I have the angle wrong. That's what's going on. But anyway, that's gonna, with some freezer and oven action, that's gonna drop into there. Another one on the other side. There's gonna be a race that goes in it. And hopefully, I'll be up and running again. Put this away before I get it dirty. Okay, the parts wagon finally delivered. So here are my inner bearing races. And these are going to take up that gap we talked about between those smaller needle rollers and the shaft here. But as you can see, this is where the fun begins, because the best thing I can think to do, presuming that's a hardened shaft, that might not necessarily be only for the running surface of the bearings, but I bet that could have to do with deflection under load. I don't know, that gear provides a lot of stiffness. I could, man, do I just turn a new one the same diameter? That'd probably be faster. I think I turn a new one the right diameter. I think that's the way to go. I think it's just going to be faster. And just like that, with the appearance of a keyway, the plan suddenly changes back to repair this shaft. Because I don't think, maybe I could make this keyway if I had to. But I think we're back to this being faster to repair this shaft with that keyway there. Okay, I've got the shaft welded up here and got it indicated in. I know this is a 3-jaw. They're supposed to be self-centering, but this is important enough that it was, good to check anyway. And you can see it's not perfect. We're about 2/1000ths, but that's about the best I can get it with this machine. So, I mean, that gear's worn a lot more than that. So we'll take what we can get for now and see what happens. Going in for final cut, checking again. Like I said, being super careful on this. Still at about 1.5 thou. That's, I think, the best I'm gonna get. Well, I'm just getting ready for final assembly here, and I can't say that, I don't know if it'll be better, but it'll at least live longer as good as it is. I mean, there's the profile around the top gear tooth. I mean, that looks pretty, I mean, that follows the tooth about right, and there's not hardly any slop. Then down here, there's a little bit more movement, but it's not too bad on this side. It spins pretty free, but you get around to there. Ooh. And I am not equipped to fix that. So I've got the dyno back together, and hopefully I can find a video to demonstrate how much quieter this thing is.
1935 Alice Chalmers WC showing an M&W PTO dynamometer. This is Indiana. He's got a dyno while he's driving.
Yep, okay, we're back from the Ohio Valley Antique Machinery Show. This old
vehicle happens to be evident.
Made it there and back with no issues. The camper back there behind it, there and back with no issues.
Valuable evidence.
The old red.
That's going to convict a maniac.
You know, I got the sulky built. I haven't even posted that. Y'all haven't even seen that. I'll have to get some video of that, but that one didn't even go. I mean, I ran out of room on the trailer. Trailer made it back. The truck made it back. Not even a single flat tire. I don't have to knock on wood because we're already back. But most importantly for this video, already relegated to the weeds, is the dynamometer. It's not actually relegated to the weeds. We're working on expanding the barn. So it needed to go somewhere else for a couple of days. But I've got some work to do yet on it. I still have to get back around to digitizing because I think that's going to be a really neat project. I've got to replace the crystal again. Dang it. Luckily they're cheap. That'll give me a chance to redo that gauge face again anyway. Kind of do it better. Maybe instead of computer paper. Actually, I wonder if I can get that printed on a decal. That would be nice. But anyway, I took the battery out of it, so that's not gonna, but the big thing that I found over the weekend with it is that the pump is still not super healthy. It'll make about, at the 545 RPMs, it'll make about 38 horsepower, so 380 foot-pounds of torque. I'll have to look up what pressure that is again. I want to say it's something like 600 PSI, which is not great. It is exponentially, the efficiency goes up exponentially with speed. So at that lower 500 some odd RPM, I think it's probably close to 1,000 through that gearbox. It's still kind of slow for that kind of pump. It's good for 2,000 RPM. These are normally made to be direct drive off of an engine or a Repto rear engine PTO for like an excavator, track hoe kind of thing like that. But in this application, that gap I showed you earlier just isn't going to cut it. So that's going to be the big limiting factor. You'll see it back probably next year. It will be, just in time for the machinery show again, I bet. We'll be talking about getting a billet housing unit made. But there's a lot of time between now and then, so we'll just have to see. But with that, I think that's the end of this one. So we'll see you back on the next one here, which I don't know what the next video is going to be yet. I do need, what is the next video going to be? I gotta do some cleanup. I gotta finish my black oil, or my black diesel centrifuge. That's probably the next one, is the black diesel centrifuge. Get that pile cultivator out of the way. You can see it. This jewel weed is fantastic if you're a hoarder, because over the summer this stuff sprouts up and hides all your good stuff that you don't want the neighbors complaining about, such as all of this used oil through here that's going to be turning into diesel fuel. So that'll probably be the next one. And then the next one after that, it might be time to dive into the loader tractor project. That's going to be based on what's left of this Alice Chalmers C. I might even get it drug out of here before all the jewel weed dies off and I have to look at it again. But for now, you can barely even see it. Isn't that great? All right, I'll catch you on the next one.